Okay, this is a quick video walking you through a couple of my favorite resources for scientific literature searching. This is nice to pair with the Zotero video in terms of how to store and organize literature for a particular project. So you can get here, this is called Web of Science or Web of Knowledge. You need to access this on campus. There are ways you can talk to ITS about doing this off campus. This video doesn't address it. So to get here, while you're on campus in the browser, type in Web of Science or Web of Knowledge. Both will lead to this database page. Like any database, you can change the search fields. I prefer to use all fields for course first searches, and then I like to refine my searches later after I have a bunch of hits. So let's say I want to look up molecular imprint polymers and look through the literature there. So I'll click search here. We'll pull up a series of hits. And like any type of database, you can organize your output based on a variety of filters. When you're first trying to understand a particular field or subfield, which is especially true when you're developing a proposal, for instance, and you want to understand what extent of published literature there is and what the state of the art is, given the most recent year's publications. I kind of like to work from a review article perspective first, which a review article sort of captures and collates and organizes, really, in terms of content, all of the topics within a particular field or subfield. And what I like about Web of Science is you can organize or actually filter based on the article type. And so if you go down the left here, under Refine Results, there's all sorts of things you can do here, but I use this a lot. So under Document Types, I can choose what I'd like. And what I use most often is when I'm trying to understand a field broadly, rather than read a bunch of individual primary literature articles, I tend to read reviews. So I'll click Review article and then Refine, and then you can see that now I have listed all of the categorized review articles, and I can see both the number of citations, which is how many times that article has been cited. I can see the year and the month that it was published, so I can see how recent this review article was produced, and I can see how many citations are included inside of that particular article. When I'm trying to get a sense for what review I should read, one of the first things I do is actually I select the review article, but then I do an additional citation search where I sort by the total number of sources here. So if I go, instead of relevance, I go to citations highest first. Now you can see that there's an article that's been cited by over 2,000 other papers. And I like to do it this way, not because I think that more citations the better the article, but clearly there's a reason why people are citing an article in terms of its utility. And so it's a good place to start when you're trying to understand a new field. And this is a place that I like to start in any field that I'm trying to understand. So from here you can click on that article, and then you have a variety of options to dump this article out. And so you can check for full text. I like to right click and open a new tab here, and you can route it through TUT. This fails a lot, so I often try to go either through full text at the publisher, or this last one is through Google Scholar. And so these tend to be more often useful. So this took me straight to Engavant Chemie, and you can see that now I have the article, and I could click PDF if I wanted to download this article. We may not have access to this particular journal, but you could request it from the library. Another place that's useful here about this page is I can look through and see where the citations are coming from. So sometimes I sort of end up in a rabbit hole where I see a nice paper and then I get recommendations of papers similar, and I can sort of follow that and read a lot about one particular topic. That's useful. Another thing that's really useful is this export function. So you can export the citation and the article directly into Zotero. So you can do that as an RAS here. You click RAS, and then you can dump exactly what you want, and then you can load that into your Zotero database for organization later. Another tool that I really like when I'm trying to understand, say, the growth of a particular subdiscipline, which can be really helpful when you're thinking about writing a proposal in an area, is when you have a search in all fields like this, molecular imprint polymer, you will get this option where you can generate a citation report. And so if I click this, what that'll do, it'll show me that there are 7,300 publications with this particular search term, and it will generate then a plot of the number of publications with that search term as a function of year. And you can sort of see, like, when did this field become popular, and you can sort of see, like, maybe the mid to late 90s it starts to grow. There was a kind of a boom year here, 2001, and then it's really received this continual steady growth since then in this particular field. Okay, the other database that I use fairly regularly for the type of science that I do is just simply Google Scholar. So I can type in Google Scholar and then open this site, and I can search for a variety of articles here. So maybe I'll look up molecular imprint polymer again, and I can get a sense with much fewer options for sorting. But this is a quick and dirty way that if I'm not trying to do a big survey of literature, then and I'm more looking for a particular article, this is a great place to do that. What's shown in another Zotero video is this is also a really nice way to grab citations. So rather than type out a citation formally, say I want this particular article and I want to use it in a paper that I'm writing, I can click these quotes for cite, and I could copy these in different formats if I'd like, but what I tend to use more often are the particular outputs here. So if I clicked EndNote, it's going to save this as an RIS, which I could import directly into Zotero or other.